open. Oh my god!
After 30 days of the most intensive air campaign since the Second World War, American intelligence confirmed something nobody in Washington wanted to say publicly. The United States had only destroyed around 1/3 of Iran's missile arsenal with certainty. Another third was probably damaged or buried in underground bunkers. The remaining third had an unknown status entirely. A month of B-2 stealth bombers for 35 strikes, carrier groups, and hundreds of Israeli jets across all 31 Iranian provinces, and Iran still had a missile stockpile that the world's most powerful military could not fully account for. Tehran wasted no time demonstrating the point. In a single coordinated push, the IRGC deployed long-range and medium-range ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, cluster munition warheads, and attack drones across multiple fronts simultaneously. It struck an electronic warfare and radar center at Israel's Haifa military aerospace complex, targeting the very infrastructure that detects and intercepts incoming Iranian fire. It hit fuel storage at Ben Gurion Airport, disrupting the supply chain of the jets bombing Iranian cities. It destroyed a $270 million American E-3 Sentry surveillance aircraft at Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, the primary battle management platform coordinating U.S. air operations across the entire theater, while also damaging multiple KC-135 refueling tankers in the same strike. A US MQ-9 reconnaissance drone was shot down over the Strait of Hormuz. An industrial refinery near Beersheba was struck, igniting massive fires and raising contamination warnings for surrounding communities. These were not random strikes. They were a coordinated campaign aimed at the nervous system of the US-Israeli air operation, hitting the sensors, the fuel, and the command and control platforms that make the air campaign function, rather than simply targeting population centers for maximum headlines. What made this push particularly significant was the intelligence context behind it.
שלי באותו רחוב מול הבית ממש. וואי.
In the opening days of Operation Epic Fury, Iran launched 400 ballistic missiles on the first day alone, a saturating barrage designed to overwhelm Israeli air defenses through sheer volume. By day 10, that rate had collapsed by 92%. The public interpretation was that US-Israeli strikes were degrading Iran's launch capacity. The intelligence assessment that emerged later was considerably more complicated. The slowdown may have been less about degradation and more about conservation, with Iran deliberately rationing its stockpile while the US and Israel burned through interceptors and battle management assets at a cost of between $1.4 and $2.9 billion in aircraft losses in the first 3 weeks alone.
נפילה מול הבית שלי, באותו רחוב מול הבית ממש. וואי.
زور פתח תקווה, עשן כבד. זה היה אחרי הזעקות.
A senior IRGC commander confirmed the shift explicitly, telling state media that Iran had moved to only firing missiles with payloads of 1,000 kilograms or more, abandoning volume in favor of precision strikes on infrastructure that genuinely hurts.
נפילה מול הבית שלי, באותו רחוב מול הבית ממש. וואי.
תראה מה זה. חיים בהלם.
Alongside the military campaign, Iran systematically expanded the categories of targets it considered legitimate. It declared the personal residences of American and Israeli commanders and political leaders across the region valid military targets, framing it as retaliation for strikes on Iranian residential buildings. It threatened to strike American university campuses in Qatar and the UAE unless Washington formally condemned strikes on Iranian universities by a specific deadline, with additional campuses promised if no response came. Every new category of target was a deliberate message to a different audience, designed to raise the personal cost of the war for American officials, Gulf governments, and the expatriate populations living across the region. On the diplomatic track, Iran agreed to allow ships under Pakistani flag to transit the Strait of Hormuz, with Pakistan serving as the primary mediator between Washington and Tehran. Turkey, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia entered discussions about forming a consortium to manage Hormuz traffic, a proposal that would institutionalize Iran's leverage over the waterway under a multilateral framework, rather than simply returning control to the pre-war status quo. The strait remained effectively closed to American and Israeli vessels, with Iranian naval forces turning back unauthorized ships attempting to enter. What the full picture of this phase of the war revealed was Iran, that had spent the opening month absorbing strikes, studying American and Israeli tactics, rationing its most capable weapons, and methodically targeting the infrastructure that sustains its adversary's ability to keep bombing it. The E-3 sentry on the tarmac at Prince Sultan, its tail severed, is the clearest single image of where that strategy had arrived. The plane that watched the skies for America was gone. The missiles that were supposed to be gone were still in the ground. And the war that was supposed to be over in 4 to 5 weeks had produced none of its stated objectives and all of its unintended consequences.